do me a favor, real quick. Let me see if I can find it. I'll send you the cover if I can find it. But I actually own this book. I grabbed it literally because of its cover. I found it at a bookstore. Let me see if I can. Oh, yep, there it is.
I found it.
There it is. Oh, there it is.
What?
Oh my gosh.
So it's Merlin's Ring by H. Warner Munn.
Yeah. You can't tell me. I'm sending it to you. I'm sending it to you right now. Oh my god, that's terrible.
That's a link.
Fuck. I didn't mean to. Abort. Abort. Oh my god, what?
It's not even a hyperlink.
I feel like I'm looking at.
I
did the wrong thing. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to remove that. I basically put in the code for. I don't know, everything.
Hold on. Actually,
copy link location. Please tell me that'll work.
I got it. Hold on. Here we go. I'm posting it in the, just so.
That's better. That's better. There it is.
Oh my god.
So.
It's a swan breathing fire.
With a woman on a horse behind it with a flag depicting a swan breathing fire. Because you needed it twice to really get across the point of this book.
Right?
Apparently.
Now, I have never... This is a cover win, in my opinion, because I would never read a book. I don't know if I would ever read a book with as innocuous a title as Merlin's Ring. And I've yet to actually read it. But the cover is so baffling.
Epic fantasies that span centuries between the loss of Atlantis and 1500 AD.
Apparently we had fire-breathing swans in the past.
I'm sorry we missed that.
This book better have an abundance of fire-breathing swans, or I'm gonna, take it back to the place where I got it for free.
It better be the first sentence. Merlin's daughter ducked quickly as the fire-breathing swan flew above.
No, I want
barely grazing her head.
I want Merlin's daughter to be riding a fire-breathing swan.
By the end of the book, she needs to ride a fire-breathing swan.
God.
Absolutely.
What are we reading?
I don't know what we're reading anymore. It's more important we talk about Merlin's Ring anyway. I've decided we're going to actually just read Merlin's Ring.
The person who submitted this is, or the story to us is like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah. Who wants to read?
I'm assuming Cainmak is thinking this.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you, Cainmak, for submitting your stories to us. We'll be reading one of them today.
Welcome to Undercooked Analysis. We're here and we're finally going to do a user-submitted story. If all that other stuff before didn't give you credence to that. I am here. Now.
David King.
I am David King and I am here.
I am Kayla King.
Now. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make a Neil Breen reference and no one is.
It is way too early for Neil Breen references. My brain can't process.
Who am I? What am I? Sorry, anyway, I'll stop.
And then we're talking...
And Abysmii's here, too.
Hello.
It is early in the morning.
Wow.
I don't know how much of the intro we're keeping at this point, because...
I don't know how much
some of it's pretty good. Some of it also would make good dregs. We'll just see what happens as we go. But we're going to keep it simple, because we're recording early morning. And as Kayla said earlier, we're going to be reading a story by Cainmak called The Game of Tag. Cainmak has reached out to us to see... if we could do it.
Here's the description of a game of tag. My first, longest, and most popular, and I assume the cringiest.
Yeah. They sent 3 stories.
He or she. They. I'm not going to assume your gender. They are no masterpieces, so feel free to roast them all you want. This'll be good.
All right, time to roast. Time to do a pot roast.
Pot roast.
You could tell it's early while we're recording.
Food.
Food.
I do have a blueberry muffin right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to get food after this.
You should get food after. You should. If you don't, I will be very concerned about your health.
Okay, you gotta go skip past all these swans.
I'm trying to, but I like the swans.
It's a very hypnotizing image. I can't really look away.
Back in the days when, when we were doing this on YouTube before the channel got taken down by evil conspirators, and YouTube's just flagrantly terrible flagging system or strike system. I'm still a little burnt about that, even though I don't like YouTube anymore. before that, I would have named this video. I would have named this this podcast in the tagline. You know, I used to do that. Every episode would have the story title, but then some weird doofy thing. This would just be fire breathing swans.
Oh yeah,
has nothing to do with the story, but fire breathing swans are pretty choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so game of tag by Cainmak. How do we want to break this down?
Abysmii goes first, then you, then me. I'm doing it alphabetically.
Okay.
Oh, very good.
And that rhymed.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
In 2017, a certain video appeared on YouTube. Well, I would hope. But YouTube videos.
2017 was a really weird year for YouTube because only one video appeared.
There was no others.
Their platform was really suffering. No other videos were able to be uploaded.
There was this horrible glitch in the system, and no one could upload videos for an entire year.
This story sounds great now.
Absolute rioting in the streets, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. The phone recording presented a busy intersection in a rather large city, probably in the United States.
Wait, what?
The phone recording.
Oh, they're saying it's it was recorded on a phone.
Oh, okay.
Portrait or landscape. It's important to know if it was recorded portrait or landscape style.
Yeah, because if it's portrait,
it's a video on a phone. Okay.
Yeah, that is correct. It's just weird.
Yeah, a little bit. That's okay, but I got it from that. It's a little awkward, but yeah, you could say it would probably be more clear if it was like the recording
shot on a phone,
and then like in annoyed brackets in portrait mode.
Yeah.
So a busy intersection in a rather large city, probably in the United States. The circumstances indicated the situation took place during rush hours on March or April, as people were wearing light coats and some snow was still visible along the blooming trees and grass.
The recording starts with screaming.
Ah!
Ah!
You can hear distant cries. Few people are seen running, and even from a distance, it is clearly a panic rush, with lots of scuffling and pushing aside. There is a sense of confusion and uncertainty in the air. Among the obscured noises, one clear, "What's going on?" can be heard. The video is good quality, but shaky, as the person holding the phone is trying to get closer to the commotion.
So I assume this is at street level?
Yeah, it's kind of like right before, I don't know, a tsunami wave hits or something. It's kind of or like a building falls down. That's the vibe I'm getting, which it is doing a good job of describing, actually.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Calm before the storm.
Mm-hmm. Around the 10th second, the chaos starts spreading. Pedestrians are now moving faster and more people are running. If it wasn't for the crowd on the crossing, some would definitely got hit by a car, as they are reckless and focused on getting as far as they can. The faint sound of police sirens can be heard at the moment. The phone user is now more or less 40 feet away from the center of the ruckus, getting a nice panorama shot. 2 seconds... They changed the setting midway through? What the fuck?
Oh, God, it's so horrible. But this panorama setting is awesome.
Oh, this is horrifying.
No one's going to watch this. It's like, I figured out how to do it, guys. Don't worry. Here it is in panorama.
Everyone restart. I got it. Hold on. Sorry.
Wait. Back it up. Come on, start the ruckus again.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Come on. It's all just a sketch. That's all it is. Lost my place.
2 seconds later.
Oh, yeah, 2 seconds later, there is a scream somewhere very close. Mass hysteria continues.
Ensues.
When
the timer hits 19 seconds. Timer? What fucking timer? Is there a timer?
It wouldn't be a timer. It would just be oh God, what are those called?
I get what
It just the video is displaying how long it's
when
playing.
when the timestamp or yeah
it's I know what they're saying. That's just again a kind of a weird way of saying it because that's not how we typically address it. You could just say when the video hits 19 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to say it. A girl in a green hoodie emerges from the right corner of the screen.
She's standing in front of a burning down house with a grin on her face.
I'm burning down the house.
She is unnoticed by the camera person.
The phone wielder.
I wonder if English is not Cainmak's first language.
They actually did say English is not.
Oh, okay, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. Cool. Now we know that.
Mm-hmm.
I started to notice that too. I didn't want to say anything because it's like
you never know.
Yeah, but
because who knows? Maybe they could pull it off, like, oh, okay, maybe, and it's like, no, the English is definitely not their first language, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no problem. The crowd is thinner where she appeared, and she easily navigates among the pedestrians. You can see she is somewhere around her early 20s, has long black hair that covers half her face, and seems less distracted than anybody else, holding her hands in her pockets and hunching as if having back problems.
Or bad posture.
Oh, people are now running around her. When she gets closer to the center, a 50-something man in a wool jumper turns in her direction. He says something muffled, and the subtitles below read, "Do you know what's going on?" Oh, there's subtitles. Okay, so here's my question. Is this automatic subtitles from YouTube? Is this subtitles made after the fact to be displayed on YouTube, or does the video originally have subtitles?
That's a good question. Do they look like they're because if it's like subtitles that are auto-generated by YouTube, it could be. Do you remember when that was like a thing?
Oh yeah.
And it was just what auto subtitle nonsense can be put in here?
And the reason I asked this, and it might sound like a weird detail, but if it's purposely made subtitles as part of the video, then this was like shot and edited and thought about, and so there's like intention, and that does kind of change the context. If it's just random subtitles, then I mean they're just there, I guess.
Yeah, then you could. Actually, that'd be an interesting thing to put if or for free rewriting if he chooses to rewrite that, or they choose to rewrite it. To go back and put depending on where the story is going to say, if you turn on the subtitles, it seems like this person is saying.
Yeah.
Well, actually the next sentence, reading ahead a little bit, gives a kind of, hey, that is kind of weird.
Okay.
Oh,
That's why we got to finish the paragraph.
We really got to finish paragraphs. Before any of the viewers start wondering why this random voice is subtitled as nothing else is, the girl says something in response, then releases her hand from her pocket and touches the man on the shoulder.
I like the idea that she releases her hand from her pocket, like she just throws a hand out, and literally like Thing from the Addams Family comes flying out.
Sand!
Go, Thing, use Scratch! Thing, use Scratch. It's super effective.
ow! That mildly hurt.
Oh.
It's super effective at mildly hurting. So, okay, there's random subtitles there.
Is that you? Me?
I think it is me.
It's David.
You can tell we're on our A game today, everybody. The camera notices the sudden movement in the corner and zooms at the scene, where the man starts twitching frantically as if having a seizure. Something happens to his face as it starts getting red and blistering. 3 seconds later, and the phone's owner cries, "It's a guy." Oh my fucking god! Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
Is it because there's just the letter O, and then
Yes.
fuck?
Yeah.
Oh spite! Oh hell! Oh fuck! As the man falls on the ground with a natural swollen chest, the nearby passerby watched this in fear, only to start screaming and running away.
Ooh, do we have chest bursters? Is there an invasion?
Yeah.
Ooh. I like that we have to note that the phone's owner, it's a guy, by the way.
It's a guy.
It's a dude. Like, know his gender pronouns, damn it.
It has a male-sounding voice.
Hairy hands.
I think that's probably next. Yeah.
Only a guy would switch phone settings midway through to go from portrait to landscape.
Well, okay.
And look at his fingernails; they're terrible.
Okay, the right.
You can see all the dirt under the nails. Sorry.
Here's the thing I've noticed: like some of the details could be better written.
Yeah.
But so far as a story whole, like this isn't terrible.
It is a creepypasta.
It is a creepypasta, but still
Passive voice, like just describing a thing that could be found that's weird on the internet. Yeah, it's a creepypasta.
yeah. But what's going on in the video doesn't seem.
Well,
I'm
we don't really
interested.
know what's going on yet.
Yeah. We'll see what happens as we continue on, but.
Right.
The crowd, now knowing the source of the panic, began spreading. Wait, the panic or the crowd? The crowd began spreading. A vast wave of bodies that flooded the street, stopping vehicles. Some people run past the camera person, the phone catching glimpses of their horrified faces. We can also start noticing the other phones recording the commotion. The police arrives. Their flickering lights appear somewhere in the corner. I just realized all of this is in present tense.
Yeah, it's describing. It's sort of like a transcript.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. But although then it says the crowd began.
Yeah.
Rather than the crowd began spreading.
Or begins. Yeah. Then it's again when Cainmak said English is not their first language. I understand, so I can't fault them for that entirely.
No. But they also said,
but we do got to point these things out because that's what we do.
But they said be brutal, so.
Okay, that's the sound of my knuckles. And knuckles and knuckles.
The tense
and knuckles.
correct.
The tense correct. Okay.
Also, no self-respecting person shoots anything in portrait.
It would almost be more real if it wasn't portrait mode, though.
That's what I'm picturing it as. That's what I'm picturing it as. And it's the kind of portrait mode where you've got instead of the black bars on the side, it's just the same image, but blurry on the sides.
I remember I did a little vlog once, and I shot in landscape, but YouTube uploaded it wrong, and I was too lazy to fix it. So it's portrait mode sideways. So it doesn't have that background effect, but it is wrong rotation. I was like, what? How does that even happen?
YouTube.
The girl is now in focus. She walks toward another person and touches them. It's a teenage boy who makes choking gestures and starts bleeding from his mouth as his chest bloats to giant proportions. Oh. First dates, am I right?
Yeah.
Or to quote Cinema Snob, chicks, bro.
Chicks, bro.
Two other boys, probably his friends, scream and try to run away, but one is snatched by the girl. He stumbles onto the ground, red and choking blood. The other one cries so loud it can be heard above the noise. Someone, a young woman, in the general confusion, bumps into the girl. She falls to the ground, not moving. The girl then proceeds to leap towards every person she is able to. She touches them, and each one ends up the same way. After touching about 4 more people for a brief second, she looks in the direction of the camera, grinning widely. Called it.
It is the girl.
It's totally her. She burned down a house, and now she's coming for you.
Do you think the house just caught fire because she touched it?
That's my headcanon, yeah.
And she's wearing a green hoodie.
So she's leaping around to people. I actually kind of like the image of her leapfrogging to people. And touch.
Boop. Boop.
Boop, got your nose.
Boop. Oh, now your nose is falling off.
Oh, it's gushing blood.
Oh, you know what? All I could picture is the hunter from Left 4 Dead now. She's wearing a hoodie. The video is 1 minute and 4 seconds long and has over 6 million views. The comment section consisted mostly of WTF and is this real? But many were not really convinced. Some shouted it was fake on the internet. There were few who believed it was one of those pranks used to promote new horror movies, and in a very bad taste, they added. Trolls were joking they would bang her anyway.
Okay, that's the most realistic part of this whole story so far.
Bravo.
Doesn't matter, had sex.
This was the most popular video of the happening. Oh no!
Oh god. It is promoting a terrible horror movie. Yeah.
Overall, there were over 15 original recordings. Wait, what?
So there were other videos uploaded of this incident?
Oh, yeah, because they mentioned other camera. All shot from different angles and moments.
After the incident, the girl in the green hoodie was nowhere to be found.
Okay.
The event... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Is it the same paragraph? I think it's the same paragraph.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The event received media coverage all over the world, but the fact that people died after being touched was barely mentioned. Most news reports described it as a biological attack organized by terrorists, and that the girl in the green hoodie was using either some kind of gas or syringe filled with toxic chemicals. This blatant lie wasn't overlooked by the internet, as millions of commenters shouted that no gas nor syringe was present during the event, and witnesses actually saw that a simple touch would turn a person into a blood-choking red mess. The media, however, refused to accept this explanation and turned a blind eye to the accusations.
I have a question.
Okay.
If the media is now covering this, and there's been 15 other recordings of this, original recordings of this, shouldn't at least someone who uploaded one of these videos be able to identify where this took place? 'Cause it talks about it could have been anywhere, but I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like if an event this big happened, someone would say something, you know?
Yeah, someone like the one uploader would at least be like, this happened in downtown Wichita or something. Yeah.
I feel like this would be more of like one of those weird things that like weird mysteries that would get reviewed by like BuzzFeed Mystery. Like this kind of almost reminds me of like the Toxic Woman, you know, the one where this woman goes into the hospital and all of a sudden all the hospital workers around her start getting sick.
Yeah.
Like it's almost kind of eerie.
Yeah. Maybe this will be given later in the story, but I hope that it gets revealed, even a concrete detail about where this incident took place. Because first it just seems like a random video, and I think that was part of the creepypasta idea of the mystery. But now that we know that the media knows about it, and there are other recordings, makes me wonder, did this actually take place?
Well, it's kind of like,
and I want to know specifically where you choose to set it.
Remember the 5 lights also over Arizona or wherever the hell? I think like that.
Yeah,
there was video recording there. And
I'm just saying. Like, I hope they give it. I hope Cainmak gives this a specific location.
Yeah,
and
that would make it realistic.
Yeah, like you could describe it not being known where it is, some sort of U.S. city when the video first uploads. But then as information comes to light, you could start being like, this was actually in like downtown Wichita. Like I'm gonna go with Wichita. Wichita skyline.
Is it my turn?
I think it's me.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah.
I got a big paragraph.
Oh, God.
No real explanation was given for the deaths as well. According to medical authorities, the victims had been dead before any help arrived. For a few days, only a range of symptoms were presented to the public. Skin lesions, obstruction of the lungs, eye inflammation, etc., as the official cause of death was still unknown. However, 2 days after the incident, a post was published on an anonymous message board. The creator claimed to be one of the morgue attendants that was examining the bodies. He or she felt obliged to tell the truth about the condition of the bodies, but were shut down by their supervisors in order to not spread panic. They explained that the cause of death was asphyxiation caused by severe pulmonary injuries, which explained the bleeding and swollen chests. OP expressed their shock that they had never... I'm sorry, just seeing OP...
OP!
I don't know why that cracks me up. It just says, OP expressed their shock as they had never seen such amount of damage caused in such a short time. They also added that the victims were exposed to aflatoxins. Aflatoxins were cancerous chemicals often found in corn, walnuts, or peanuts, to name a few, that, especially when improperly stored, can lead to liver cancer and other horrible things such as hemorrhage.
It's in the corn.
Get it out of the corn! According to OP, the amount of aflatoxins in the bodies was 20 times larger than in normal instances of aflatoxin poisoning, which caused severe damage to their livers. The list of symptoms goes on: throat injuries, internal bleeding, dermatitis, sore and bloodshot eyes, etc., developed to a very serious stage. The effects are similar to being exposed to black mold for a prolonged period of time, wrote the anonymous user, and never responded to any of the comments. Although people were skeptic, the post gained a lot of attention. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I appreciate the details of that. That's kind of cool and cryptic. Is this just like, oh, you know what? I just realized it. This is in the Twin Peaks universe, and that girl's jumping around and smearing people with creamed corn.
Oh, damn, David.
The source of all evil.
For a few months, YouTube became flooded with reaction videos and theories. Of course there would be. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure MatPat made a video about it, too.
Oh, hells yeah.
But that's just an aflatoxin theory.
I would, you know what? Wherever this location is, I would love it if Ghost Adventures goes over. Did the woman create ghosts?
So he has a new show out.
What?
Wait, Zach Baggins does?
And it's called like Ghost Adventures Artifacts or something.
No,
Excuse
what?
I Paprika found it. She showed me like episode 3 or something, and it's first of all, it's just him ripping off Pawn Stars, Pimp My Ride, and like other popular reality TV shows. But it's him 2000s. At his stupid mansion, stupid museum, and like has people bring haunted stuff to him, and then he does investigations on it, and it's just so bad. It's like it's a new level of ridiculousness.
Jeez.
That sounds dumb as hell. And
I mean, like in the span of one episode, he goes to look at the wall from the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and then someone brings him a haunted armoire that killed 17 people because they put their jackets in it or something. And then he goes to a mechanic shop where they've pimped out a hearse for him, and then he goes home.
oh, this is all in one episode?
This is all in one episode.
Oh my god.
It's ridiculous.
I expect nothing less from Zach Baggins.
I do
It
want
was
to see
everything I expected and more.
I do want to see a killer armoire though. Like I just imagine like they're like, how did this armoire kill people? Then I just see someone running down a hall being chased by an armoire that's just thumping after them.
No,
Bam, 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 bam.
no, I want this armoire to be like the armoire from Beauty and the Beast holding a bat.
Oh yeah. The bat wielding one.
Yes.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
It's like, this guy's ready.
I'm gonna break LeFou's kneecaps.
We actually just reviewed that film.
Yeah, that's right.
Yay.
You go listen to Anna Musings, you can hear us talk about Beauty and the Beast for close to 3 hours.
I'm surprised. The only thing I'm kind of disappointed is not having Abysmii there just gush about a guest
The love of his life.
Guest on for like an hour. But
Fair enough.
Oh well.
You were on.
Conspiracy theorists believe the girl in the green hoodie was a governmental experiment gone wrong, a real SCP, or even pestilence, one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The girl even gained her own cult following, becoming an internet meme. She was dubbed Rosie in reference to Ring Her Around the Rosie, as it was in the nursery rhyme about Black Death.
Okay.
I like
That's
that.
that's a very clever thing. For the
That
most
is
part,
something the internet would do.
Yeah.
Actually, for the most part, and I'm not surprised, Cainmak knows how the internet works and how they would react to these things. There's times I've read recent books where the author's trying to, like, talk about, like, how the internet or, like, technology and stuff like that, and you're like,
Okay,
wow, yeah, you're really out of touch on how people would react. It's kind of like, oh god, that Gem movie that came out, and it's like,
Oh, that one was truly outrageous. Truly,
no,
truly,
but the
truly
ridiculous part is, like, how she
outrageous.
became popular. She posted a video of herself, like, in the dark, singing, like, a song that's just acoustic, and then it gets millions of views. Bullshit. There's 20 million people who do the exact same goddamn thing.
She got
Every
lucky.
day.
Yeah.
She got lucky.
Yeah.
They're trying to make her Bieber.
But that's not...
Trying to make her Justin Bieber.
That's not how it works.
I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Bieber.
Bieber's the fifth Beatle.
Yeah,
Babel.
there is the
Beeble.
now in the world of yesterday. I'm actually curious. In the world of yesterday, you know, that movie where the Beatles don't exist. Does Justin Bieber also not exist? Because
I hope so.
Well, I think if I recall in the movie, I didn't see it, but I've heard that, like, some people don't exist because the Beatles inspired so many different singers. And as a result, because the Beatles don't exist, then some other singers don't exist. So, not like they're real people, but like...
No, I mean,
they
but people who were influenced by the Beatles would not have the same...
wouldn't have started bands and such. So.
Yeah.
Well, rock music itself would not be how it is today without the Beatles.
Yeah.
That's a very good
there's-
point.
It would be a very, very different world. So
I don't know if the
Yeah.
movie goes far enough with that premise, but I
no,
actually haven't
I
seen
don't
it.
think it intends to either. But yeah,
That'd be interesting though. I think it's you for this super short paragraph.
but this was not the first time Rosie appeared on the internet.
Oh,
No!
She was originally there on You're the Man Now Dog in like 2008. It's just a gif of her smiling. You know what? I could picture the fan art for Rosie now on like on 4chan. There's like someone did a composite over Rosie the Riveter. You can do it, and it's just her like
With poison fingers or
with
something.
poisonous.
I can kill you.
I can kill you.
They use her as a avatar for fights with Reddit.
Jeez.
In 2011, a YouTube video appeared with a title written in Japanese, which could be Google translated as "Death on the Streets video or the Streets Japan. Weird girl found?"
Question mark, question mark, question mark?
I kind of like that. Death on the Streets Japan. Weird girl found. Depicting an intersection in a suburban area seen from a third-floor balcony. People are running away and screaming. The camera is focused on the girl in the green hoodie in the middle of the street, monitoring the surrounding chaos. She keeps her hands in her pockets, and this time her face is hidden under the hood. Around her lie bodies, like a macabre version of petals surrounding a flower bud. You can hear the camera person talking with someone next to them. Their voices are pitched to an almost chipmunk-like squeak, but unless you know Japanese, you can't make out what they are saying. After almost 2 minutes of footage, Rosie leaves the scene before the police arrives. Okay, so this video, okay, it's interesting.
At the time, people believed it was a fake, as there was never any media coverage of the event. No one knew where it had taken place, nor who recorded this. However, after the incident in 2017, I, a person who remembered the Japanese video, decided to create a subreddit about it. Of course you did!
Because what else do you do?
Mm-hmm.
The Cleric of Madness story. This needed to be found, so I created a wiki for it.
I first encountered the green hoodie girl, aka Rosie, video yesterday and couldn't shake off the feeling of deja vu. I searched my old YouTube playlist and found an old Japanese video from 2011, link below. I'm certain that this is the same girl, even though you can't see her face. The hoodie is the same. I want to know if these are related somehow. Does anybody have any information concerning any of the videos? Has someone ever seen this girl before?
Are they... Okay, now is this an adult woman, or...
I don't know.
Because 2011 to 2017 that's 6 years.
But this is also... This is a flagrantly supernatural entity, so
yeah,
she looks exactly the same.
That'd be something to address, too. It's like, if this woman looks like she's 14... Well, that'd be something you'd be like...
Well, the key part, though, is that we can't... From the angle of this video, we can't see her face. We can just tell it's a girl in a green hoodie. Oh, very similar circumstances.
And she just happens to be wearing the same green hoodie that she did.
Why does our protagonist, our narrator, have it on a video playlist?
Good question.
This seems like a weird video to have on a... I mean, maybe more curiosity.
It's convenient for sure, but...
Mm-hmm.
It does make me ask several questions about the narrator's taste in YouTube videos, though.
It could be like through liked videos or something like that. I look through my old liked videos.
Okay, it could be that they watched it more recently than 2011 as well, you know?
Who knows?
Or there's someone who likes to poke around weird, spooky, like, real ghost caught on camera, or other conspiracy stuff, like on...
the internet?
The internet, on the YouTubes. Oh my gosh, I have to read this one.
Yes. Do it, David.
The first response appeared 2 days later. When I first saw that vid, I was freaked out because I had a very similar 2 or 3 years ago. I was sitting on a bench in a park. There was not many people around, walking, jogging, etc. I was on my phone waiting for a friend. But when I raised my head, I noticed a girl in a green hoodie. She bypassed me with any interest, and I only remembered her because she had a big smile on her face, which I thought was cute at the time. After that, I stopped paying attention, but a few minutes later, I heard a scream. I ran to see what happened, and I found an older guy laying on the ground with a really, really red face and a swollen chest. Although I thought he choked on an STH?
Something. I don't know.
So I called 911. It took me some time to get there. Besides, I was scared right out of my mind at the time, so I can't remember if the girl was even there. But seeing all the bodies on the vid reminded me of that guy. And the girl that passed me by with a smile on her face. If this is the same girl, I think I'll go mad. She would have touched me if she wanted to. I think you already went mad.
Yeah.
Like, even the comment standards, that is, wow.
Okay, I know people who... Yes, there are people that write like this, but usually it's a bit more nonsensical than this.
This is my favorite character in the story so far.
Yeah.
Reddit poster one.
Yeah, but I don't...
Reddit poster Ron?
I think either with this, you either go all out, go kind of baffling, like, I couldn't understand a fucking word they said, or...
There's a certain voice I always adopt when I'm reading. I realize this happens. I read when I read stories deliberately, or when I read anything that's deliberately written with like internet slang or shorthand. And I kind of adopt this voice because it sounds like someone who doesn't read. I don't know what it is.
How's your Guinness? Good.
Good. I think that's Taylor.
The post.
Yeah.
The ghost. The ghost.
The ghost.
The ghost.
No, Dusty's the parka. The post gained a lot of replies, but one was more interesting than the others. The user shared a blurry photo of 2 dead horses near a fence. That's bad. I shouldn't be laughing.
Between 2 dead horses near a fence.
I rode through desert with a horse with no name. Their barrels swollen, with patches of red skin in between the fur. Oh. They were positioned in a way that you couldn't see their faces, but I could imagine their eyes were bloodshot.
Horses don't have fur; they have hair. Gosh.
Know your shit.
Okay, equestrian.
The user explained, I live in a family farm in the outskirts of France where we breed horses. Over 5 years ago, we found 2 of our mares dead, just like this. We thought it was some wild animal as we live close to a forest.
Oh my God.
But no bite or claw wounds. We called a vet, he did an autopsy, and claimed the horses had a severe case of mold poisoning, and we should check our stables as quick as possible. Our stables are well maintained, but we checked every nook and cranny just in case, not even a speck of mold. Besides, there were several other horses in the paddock, healthy and unharmed. For years, I believed the two dead ones had to eat something toxic until I saw the video on YouTube with Rosie, the green-hooded girl. I couldn't believe my eyes just because the victims had the same symptoms as our mares back then. Then I found the post of the autopsy technician who described the cause of death, asphyxiation from severe black mold exposure. Fucking mold exposure. I don't know if she killed my horses, but the symptoms were exactly the same. There's a path next to the paddock right near the fence where our horses were found.
Girl just walks up. It's like, I want to pet the horsies. Oh, why does this always happen?
Yeah, but
Again.
I think it's more believable that those horses
again.
ate something, ate black mold.
Yeah.
I've been through the desert on a horse with no mold. So I just killed that conversation.
Yeah, nice job, David.
People were horrified after seeing the photo. You could kill a man and no one bats an eye, but animal cruelty is, fortunately, less tolerated on the internet. Okay, that is true, actually.
True.
Very true.
Mm-hmm. Many hypotheses appeared before someone posted another video. He wrote an introduction in broken English, but I managed to make out the general sense. Apparently, OP used to work at a bar, and some night while on shift, he heard screams and gunshots. Junji Ito. He heard screams and gunshots coming from outside. He was too scared to check it, and as it was a really nasty neighborhood, and after about 10 minutes, everything went silent.
By the way, did you ever see... No, you saw this. So there's a video where Junji Ito goes to visit the Winchester house.
Oh, really?
And here's the thing. Junji Ito is an adorable man. He is just, so quiet, and you can tell he's just so... you would never guess that this was the same person who basically created some of the most, oh my god, what the heck is this body horror ever? And, there's a point they're asking him, oh, how'd you come up with this idea? And he has the most, simple explanations, oh, I just imagined, a group of people living in one farm, and that's how I came up with Uzumaki. And then I thought of, oh, would it be interesting if I had it in a spiral shape? And it's and this led to some of the most horrific visions of your mind could ever allow. And it turns out, he's afraid of ghosts. He says, oh, if I ever saw a ghost, I would run. He's just, Junji Ito's just this, such a gentle spirit. And then it's if you guys, Dave and I have read Uzumaki. I've read some of his
Megara Fault.
Yeah, as well as some other works of his, and it's just the imagery he has drawn is what the fuck? What the fuck? How did you come up with that? Although he did write a comic about his cats too, which is actually awesome.
Oh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he had a comic dedicated to his two kitties. Right. Anyway.
So he, to reiterate, he was too scared to check as it was a really nasty neighborhood, and after about 10 minutes, everything went silent. The next day, he and his boss checked the video surveillance. I watched the footage he uploaded. In the dim glow of the entrance lighting, 2 men ran through the street. One disappeared from the shot, but the other one was quickly snatched by someone whose face was hidden under a hoodie. The captured man twitched erratically before falling to the ground motionless, and the hooded figure quickly followed the one who escaped. It was dark. The footage had a very low frame rate and was really bad quality. Many agreed, me included, that the attacker was rather short for a man, didn't use any weapons, and was wearing something resembling a zip front sweatshirt of uncertain color. What really bothered me...
I'm not sure what the color
how
is.
that reads.
Yeah, that's kind of... What really bothered me was the mention of gunshots. As it was a CCTV footage, no sounds were recorded. But if someone was shooting Rosie, if it really was Rosie, didn't seem to be affected by it anyway. Rosie is immune to bullets.
Rosie is a god.
Rosie is a riveter.
Rosie's starting to lose her effectiveness because I'm like, this is all cool details. I just wonder what's the point.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it. She kills everyone she touches and nothing can kill her. Well then,
I think one of the things that always makes these mysteries more interesting if there's less and less information about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna.
Gesundheit.
I think
Thank
just
you.
the idea that there's like 2 or 3 videos floating around about this, about Rosie, is I think more interesting so far.
Yeah. Now we're kind of getting into the weeds and.
Yeah.
It's kind of, again, the less information, the better. I think it'd be interesting if maybe I was describing like some conspiracies, and then people are like, "Oh, well, whatever."
I do really like the details about the way that people died, and I think for me, I'd start drawing the line about maybe around the horses thing.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
Well, I
I'm
wonder
still
if this
along for
whole
the
like
ride.
Reddit thread is really necessary because it was cool when it was starting on YouTube and just all the the details of how the internet treated this was really cool.
Yeah.
And then like we're kind of just getting into other internet subcultures and it's like okay, it's a bit much.
Yeah, a little bit. Is it? I think it's. I just read that last one, so it's you, Kayla.
is over the span of a few months, my subreddit has grown over 3 times in size. People shared their own experiences and posted photos and videos they found. There were a few who decided to make YouTube documentaries about Rosie based on all the uploaded material. And there was a lot to find. Again, yeah, I don't know why is there so much of this one girl? Like, it's more interesting if
There are some superfluous details you could drop maybe in the middle, but like I'm okay with this part, you know?
Okay. There was a lot to find. We received video recordings from airports, stores, or streets all over the world. A number of photos depicting dead, swollen bodies were remarkable. Some people claimed to spot Rosie, even take pictures inconspicuously, but in most cases they were a false alarm or fake.
Ah, girl in green hoodie. Oh.
Quick, get her!
Do you think people started cosplaying her at conventions?
Oh my god.
No, they started writing Green Hoodie Girl fanfic.
Wait.
Green Hoodie Girl the Killer.
Actually,
Jeff X Rosie fanfiction.
No, wait. Theories started popping up like mad. Even Rosie's popularity grew as she received a lot of fan art, very often disturbing in more than one ways. Oh god.
There it is.
There it is. I think the story is... I do kind of like that. Feel like what one of the things going for here is that the story is almost more about the way the internet reacts to something rather than the thing
Absolutely.
itself.
Oh,
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because very real either real and or perceived tragedy and the way the internet handles just the random shit and how it evolves via osmosis.
Mm-hmm.
This next piece is pretty good.
Okay.
I think she is misunderstood. Maybe that smile is fake and she is really suffering. I want to help her. One of the users wrote and received a quick reply. You're a fucking idiot. Did you know that? It's so true.
Props to Cainmak for having their finger on the pulse of the internet.
Yeah, they really do.
But what really shook me up was a photo that was posted about 5 months after I created my subreddit. The user described it only in one sentence. I didn't take it.
The photo presented Rosie from behind, without her hood on, her hair hanging from her shoulder as she was leaning against a brick wall. At her feet lay a boy, maybe 8 or 9 years old, probably of Middle Eastern descent. He was curling up as if trying to hide him inside himself and was looking at Rosie with sheer terror in his eyes, his face red from crying. What the...
Okay.
There was no background story to this. No one could recognize the place nor the boy. People who clearly didn't read the post started accusing the one who posted it for just staying there and taking pictures, and were reminded to read descriptions first. The photo stayed in my mind for a long time. The boy's face haunts me to this day.
But it could have easily been someone just wearing a green hoodie with the hoodie part down. There's no confirming that it's actually Rosie.
I don't like this. I don't like that.
It's not necessary.
It's unnecessary.
I quickly connected the dots and began my own investigation. I started posting videos of me trying to solve the mystery of Rosie. I tried to dig information about her real name, origins, and possible relatives, but to no avail. I contacted police departments in countries Rosie was reported in. Despite evidence I presented, she was never caught or ever seen. In a Skype interview with a police officer who witnessed the 2017 incident, he said, "We kept hearing about a girl in a green hoodie, but we never found such a person. No personal information, no address, nothing. We send police notice all around the country. Whoever she was, she disappeared without a trace."
Despite my best efforts, I wasn't able to find anything. It seemed as if Rosie came from nowhere and could appear and disappear wherever and whenever she pleases. Sometimes when I check all the evidence, I start doubting myself. Blurred photos, easily manipulated stage videos, accounts of people that might be lying or simply gullible. I might be up to something, but maybe it is all a wild goose chase. I need to stop believing in everything I see on the internet. Yeah, no.
And that's the moral.
That's the moral of the story here.
But I can't stop worrying. All the videos and written accounts of other people describe locations that were remote or barely inhabited. The 2017 video was actually the first time Rosie was in a more crowded, populated space. Okay. That's a good ending.
I like that ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's escalating. He's getting worried. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like if you repurpose certain bits from the Reddit portions, but then like cut that out and chop this down a few pages, this would be like a really good, very old school creepypasta.
Yeah.
That's really how it started to feel. It felt very old school creepypasta, and I kind of dig that. I was kind of digging that. It's a neat idea, like this just essentially a toxic person. You know, it's like Typhoid Mary, just on steroids.
It's interesting because there's details that I feel like that could... Yeah, I think the issue here is in the details. There's some details that Cainmak should put more focus into, and details that could be easily taken away. Like, I think a lot of that extra
superfluous?
Thank you. My mouth could not say the word superfluous. Even now I can't say it right. Like, oh, there's a picture of the horses and stuff. It'd be interesting if it would be more like, oh, I think I spotted this, but you can't really tell, and it's kind of everything feels more like grasping at straws. But I feel like there could be a little more info during the video part, like the actual video taken. Like, what city was this video taken in? It's clearly a populated video where there's like other people took video of this. So where was this?
Yeah.
When was this?
Pin down a city. Pin down a city, because if this was a big enough incident that people started picking it up and police were reporting it, you gotta give us a location. It could be any location, whether, like the way you described it, but at a certain point, you gotta give us a location.
He even had an interview with the cop who was there.
Yeah.
So it's not like the protag could feign ignorance on that part.
One thing I would recommend, look into if you want a good example of a mystery that people, like so many people saw, but no one was able to explain, look into the 5 lights over Arizona. Like, that's one of those weird things that they cannot explain, and so many people saw it. They claim that it's aliens. Government's like, no, it's actually this. And then, there's a lot into that if you want to look at something that was. But I think the strongest part of the story is the fact that Cainmak knows how the internet works. Like,
yeah.
And that's what the story is about, is the internet reacting to something.
Or at least that's our takeaway.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say, if you want to get extra points, go ahead and put it in Milwaukee, and then have the guys from Red Letter Media make a comment.
Even the guys from Red Letter Media made a comment on this. But yeah, I think that's probably, when I read this, that's the one thing it makes me think of, is the 5 lights over Arizona. Because, again, it's something that no one can explain, but like millions of people saw, and they're like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. It's not like there aren't their fair share of still videos coming out about weird stuff people find, like the Like Dobby is the most recent one I can think of.
Yeah, but Dobby is...
That's not one that everybody saw, but I'm saying like that's another weird internet video that people have like agonized over and tried to figure out. So it still happens, so it's not surprising, but this is like more of a... Since it is a broader thing, I do like
this is more
the notion that it's kind of an internet urban legend that has actual video evidence to back some of it up.
Yeah. Because with the Dobby one, that's like... That was just something that was caught on video rather than a bunch of people saw it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what makes this story strange, is the fact that this happened in public. And that's actually the last line. This is the one time it was seen in a more crowd-populated space.
The 2011 video sounded like it was on a street in Japan, but I guess this is like...
Yeah.
I feel like that video could have been... I mean, it could still be a Japanese video, but maybe it could have been more isolated.
Well, it sounded like it was in a suburban area, which makes it... That's fine. Like, that could be a small area, but we're talking about like a major city street in this case. So like the slow escalation, the reveal, the steady escalation, I think is pretty cool. I like that detail. But yeah, I think there should be a little bit more restraint thrown in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, even like the OP is starting our subreddit's very realistic.
Yeah,
people throwing in fan theories and be like,
people writing very, very badly.
Yeah. That's realistic too. Oh God, I've read some of those, and you just kind of skim over them.
Mm-hmm.
I think my biggest criticism of this story is the fact that at no point does a fire-breathing swan show up.
Yeah, I'm extremely disappointed. A 0 out of 10, no fire-breathing swan. More swans that breathe fire, please.
After we have the next horror story contest, yes, must include fire-breathing swan.
Your story must include your story must be 2,000 words maximum and have a fire-breathing swan show up somewhere. There you go. The secret. That's the real secret of Alan's writing challenge.
You have to write about a fire.
If you manage to work a fire-breathing swan in there, it'll win. Pro tip from the judges.
No, it's not true. Don't. No,
don't believe Kayla. It is true. I've decided it is.
God damn it.
But speaking of which, I do want to mention, since I think we're kind of wrapping things up here.
Yes.
We do have our writing challenge currently going. Alan is hosting it, and we're judging for it. But we're at the end of the month it wraps up. But we are doing an earnest bad creepypasta challenge. The idea is that you're supposed to write a quote-unquote bad creepypasta, but it has to feel like it was written earnestly to be a good creepypasta. Now, that doesn't mean take an old story that you wrote earnestly as a kid that you think is crap and put up. Like, that defeats the purpose. The idea is that you're trying to make something that feels like it was an earnest effort to write a good creepypasta, but is bad. That's the challenge.
It's a writing challenge for a reason.
It's probably the most difficult writing challenge that's ever been posed, and I'm exceptionally proud of Alan for coming up with it. I think it's awesome. Mm-hmm. You can check that one out. The link to the details will be in this description, and because I think we uploaded the initial pitch to the Creative Horror YouTube channel.
Yes.
And that is going to run until the end of the year. That's the deadline, is the end of the year. There's not a huge word count, so you can handle that. I think we are sending... I don't remember where submissions are supposed to go, but I haven't gotten any yet, so...
I think it goes to Alan's email.
So they're going to go to Alan, which is Ignis Perdimentum...
I don't know. We should look into it. So
I wish Alan were here so he could...
There's a link that'll provide the information. Just click that link if you want to look at it.
Yeah, I'll put it all down there, and I will inquire to Alan where he wants the stuff sent specifically. Because otherwise, I'm going to say just send it to me at midnightmarinara@gmail.com.
Don't do that.
Don't actually do that until I let you know one way or the other. That said, how about freshness ratings for Cainmak's A Game of Tag? By the way, good title. That is a good title to go with what's going on here.
I didn't think about that. It's not a bad title.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You kind of forget about it, but
yeah. What's nice is it's not like, and it like I like that Rosie doesn't do anything cryptic, like go to people and go, "You're it."
Yeah, that would be way too far.
That'd be way too far. I like that all of the speculation mainly comes from other people. Like Rosie is given to Rosie because it's the internet's thing. People have crazy theories about her because it's the internet's thing. It's like I like that.
Mm-hmm. It's not. I don't think Cainmak said it was cringy, but I don't think it's cringy.
I don't think it's cringy. I do not think this is cringy
This is
at all.
better than I thought it would be.
I quite enjoyed it,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, a little lengthy, slightly bloated, but not cringy.
No. Trust me, I'll be dead honest with because I know some people have said, oh, it's because the people are sending you this, so you're going to be nicer. No, I'm going to be rough.
We will be rough. That's the goal.
There's some stories, I will not lie. There's some stories I've received from people for the contest, and I'm like, God, this is awful. I won't say who they are, but I will fully admit there are some ones that I'm like, wow, this is bad. Mm-hmm. So
I think any story is worth reading that is, submitted to us, and I will be honest if I think a story is really rough or, is fairly well polished, but it can always be improved. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and
always be improved.
Also, like I don't blame the writer.
Never blame the writer.
Because I actually mentioned this in a recent Darkly Lit, and I read 2 books by the same author this year. One of the books I absolutely adore, and it's like, I think it's an amazing novel. And then I read the author's other work, and it's so bleh. I was just like, wow, this is okay. It's not that great. I'm shocked. Like, because I read one novel that I'm just, like, praising and is surprised by, and the other book I'm just so meh about. Mm-hmm. Same writer. So, it's not always going to be the writer itself. A writer can write something amazing, but they could also write crap. Let's so.
Yeah. Not everything's a hit. Mm-hmm. And you usually, especially for popular writers, you don't read their work that didn't make the publishing list.
Right.
Who knows what they've written that even they were like, oh, heck, this is terrible. I can't release this. Who knows? I
believe you just got to keep writing and write all the bad out of your system before you can write good stuff.
Yeah.
And even that said, you're still going to write bad stuff even when you're writing good stuff. But just keep writing. That's the main thing. Just keep doing it.
Look at M. Night Shyamalan.
He's still in that phase where he's still writing all the bad out of his system.
There's some if you watched the film
In Fuck? I've never seen
I can't remember. It's like one of his first films, and I can't think of it. It's actually really good. Like, it's Infallible or... Wow. I know people
Unbreakable?
Unbreakable, thank you. Unbreakable is actually a really fucking good film, and I'm, like, shocked, because I'm watching, I'm like, wow, this is really good. And then I watch The Happening, and I'm like, the same director directed both of these? How? What? Excuse me?
I see. I feel like I'm one of the few people who enjoyed The Village. So, like...
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't terrible.
It's a movie you can only watch once, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. That's its biggest problem. It's like, well, this has no replay value now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unbreakable actually does have good replay value. Like, you could rewatch that.
Well, it's not so twist-centric.
No, it's not. There is a twist, but it's like, the twist isn't, like...
It doesn't make the whole movie...
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Same with Sixth Sense. I can still watch that.
Oh, yeah.
It's still a really well put together movie.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you watch that and you're like... And same with Lady in the Water. That's bad. That's so bad. Like, you watch Lady in the Water and then you're like, this same director did what? So...
Well, at least they can't get much worse than The Last Airbender.
Don't say that.
Oh, God! I forgot about that. I hate you.
He is capable of it. You know that.
He's capable of good work. And then this.
Mm-hmm.
This.
Mm-hmm. So that being said, I give this story 2 dead horses out of an entire paddock.
Yeah, I'll give this story a medium-sized Reddit conspiracy thread.
I will give this one a BuzzFeed Unsolved mystery episode with a bunch of users commenting in bad writing. Bad writing.
I will caveat that to put in an out of a Matt Pat tries to explain it. And I will give this the honorary creamed corn award for
creamed corn.
The notion that Rosie's actually throwing creamed corn at people subtly. I made the Neil Breen reference earlier, maybe in the bit that I cut out for the dregs, but I was thinking that bit where he walks up and goes, "Oops, sorry," and like just blatantly rubs anthrax on people.
That's right.
That's just her. Oops, sorry, but it's with creamed corn.
With the clearly powdered
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
All right, so I think that about wraps it up for legit. Once again, I'm happy to have our good friend and partner and confidant Abysmii join us.
Happy to be here.
Anything you're working on you'd like to share with the rest of the class?
Keep your eyes on the Creative Horror YouTube channel. I'm working on some stuff for that, and I'm probably going to be live streaming some video games again.
Cool.
And I'm trying to get that album I'm working on done. It's probably going to be next year, but yeah.
I've been thoroughly enjoying your spoopy game streams.
Also, that video of, by the way, the video of you, Abysmii, watching Zot.
I had an idea, and I'm like, I can crank that out in a few hours. And most of it was editing, of course.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it.
If you want to watch Abysmii, watch that. You'll just get a snapshot into his life, so...
This is the man who unabashedly loves Zat. Or Zot.
Oh, I think it's Zat, but like I have a tattoo of it.
Yeah.
That's how much I love it.
I saw him get that tattoo.
Yeah, we were there when you got the tattoo, so that was even better.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Hey, while I'm at it, now that we are pretty much exclusively a podcast, hey, if you can give us a rating and a review, it really helps the podcast get more attention. We have moved, like I said, we've moved pretty much exclusively to that platform now, and personally, I'm happier that way. But
on YouTube.
Instead of being on YouTube, and YouTube is no longer the primary form of that. So yeah, if you can, just if you follow this, you can help the podcast out by just giving a review. It can be any kind of review or any kind of rating. Honestly, just any bit helps. And, we appreciate that. Obviously, you can check out the other fine shows here on the Creative Horror Network. Darkly Lit's going to have a new episode going up very, very soon where we talk about Andavia Cardinal's 5 Midnights, which is a kind of spooky YA novel set in Puerto Rico. And also, The Witching Hour is coming up in January. Something big's going to be happening there, so keep an eye out for that. We also have some additional news about some cool things coming to UCA coming very soon. I do want to take a moment to thank all of the patrons on Patreon for helping us out. There's going to be some spring cleaning, or more like winter cleaning, going on in December as I prepare to sort of relaunch things in January. I want to kind of clean up the Patreon and tailor things more to the more UCA-centric version. Midnight Marinara is not dead. It's simply sleeping and will pop up anytime there's a story that the Pasta Shade and the crew want to produce. They are no longer fettered to the zeitgeist and therefore can do whatever kind of shows they want without feeling like they have to, pump things out for content. So I think that'll help improve the overall quality of the show. It's dormant, but it will return. So yeah, it will still, the Patreon will remain the Patreon for both shows, but since UCA is going to be the more frequently updated show and our regular schedule, I want to make sure that I'm catering to folks who enjoy that as well. So yeah, I'm going to be restructuring things a little bit. So keep an eye out for that. And patrons, I will be asking you for your suggestions on what you might like to have come to Patreon in the future. Whew! That said, a lot of housekeeping for this one, but I want to kind of start doing that more episodes because I feel like I don't do enough self-promotion.
Cool.
Wow, did I take a breath that whole time?
Yeah.
No.
Cool. Man, I'm feeling good. I almost feel like I breathe fire like a swan. Good evening, intrepid listeners. This is the Pasta Shade, the host of Midnight Marinara, and this podcast is part of CreativeHorror.com, a network of podcasts and creators working together to build a constructive community of horror fans. For more content like this, visit us at CreativeHorror.com.